Ben Wallace.
Nate Thurmond.
Ben Wallace.
Nate Thurmond.
Ben Wallace.
Nate Thurmond.
25 to play in the third quarter. Now Towns is switching up. Everybody up. And here is Kenny Anderson. Nate Thurmond hooks it out. That's well up there. Gets the offensive board and puts it back up and in. Wallace.
On this episode of Basketball Now and Then, the greatest comparisons, we compare two defensive specialists from different eras.
Known for his rebounding and defense, he was the first NBA player to record a quadruple-double.
This Piston wasn't a bad boy. Instead, he was a brick wall, stopping everything in its path.
Snatching boards and taking names were their calling card, defining their Hall of Fame careers. It is our pleasure to present to you Ben Wallace and Nate Thurmond. I'm Uriah.
I'm Maurice.
I'm Lucas.
And we're here to talk basketball.
Legends of the game.
Hey everybody, welcome back to this episode of Basketball Now and Then. I'm here with Maurice and Lucas. And today we have a Legends of the Game comparison. Before we jump into it, we ask that you please follow our show and subscribe, and definitely check out all of our content on our website, nbanowandthen.com. We're going back a couple of decades in this comparison, and there's a lot of great reasons why we decided to go with Nate Thurmond and Ben Wallace. And out of all the reasons why we decided to compare these players, we're going to start with Lucas first.
I mean, look, we got to start with defense identity first, right? Both Wallace and Thurmond built their legacies on defense before anything else. Wallace, he was a multi-defensive player of the year winner. Thurmond was widely considered one of the best defenders of his era, even without the award existing early on in his career. Part two here is elite rebounding machines. Rebounding was definitely a trait for both of these guys. Wallace led the league in rebounding more than just once, and Thurmond averaged 15-plus rebounds per game over his whole entire career. That is unheard of. It is monstrous.
Yeah, rebounding monsters, both of these guys. Their defensive prowess is apparent and well-recognized when we get to the awards section. But let's go to Maurice. What do you think about this comp?
Well, to lean more into what Lucas was saying, both of these guys were not the primary offensive threats for their teams. Both of these guys were pretty much the do everything else on the court, set a physical tone. Wallace averaged under 6 points per game for his career, while Nate Thurmond pretty much was more capable offensively. He had a jump shot. He had some post moves, but their values came from everything else that wins basketball games. Both of them were physical, blue-collar, big men in eras where, in the 2000s, you had to really grind it out in the Eastern Conference.
Yep.
Back then in the 60s and 70s, they let everything go. They didn't call fouls. Yeah, they were really physical back then. Both of these guys was willing to do the dirty work. They thrived in the physical eras, and they set the tone with effort and toughness rather than finesse.
Yeah, absolutely. And all the things that you mentioned and what Lucas said both had an impact on winning. We know how the Pistons thrived with Ben Wallace as the center, and Nate Thurmond, he had an impact on winning for the teams that he went to, whether it was Cleveland or whether it was obviously the Warriors. But that being said, you guys set for this comparison?
Absolutely.
Yeah, let's do it, man.
First quarter, background.
All right, it's time to talk about Debo, a.k.a. Big Ben. Before he got those nicknames, he was born Ben Kamey Wallace on September 10th, 1974. Growing up in Whitehall, Alabama, a town with less than 750 people, life wasn't polished or predictable. It was raw, demanding, and even unforgiving. Responsibility was not a lesson. It was a daily routine. Carrying chores, navigating expectations, and finding space for himself in a crowded home. He was, in many ways, guys, building strength long before anyone noticed it on the basketball court. Over under. How many siblings did Ben Wallace have? Over under 7.
He had more than that. He had like a huge family. I'm going to say over.
Okay.
Or actually, hold up. Is tied an option?
Sure.
I'm going to say tied. I feel like you're going to try to throw us a curveball here.
Well, you count step brothers and sisters, correct?
No, these are just from his biological parents.
I'll still go over.
All right. So, Lucas, I'm not throwing any curveballs, but I will throw this at you. You should have went with your instinct. I thought you were going to say it.
Yeah.
How many? I think it's like 11 or 10?
10. 10, yeah. He's one of 11 children.
Large family.
Yeah. So, according to an SI.com article, the poverty rate where he lived as a child was 37%. And believe it or not, he actually worked in the cotton fields on a plantation. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember hearing that.
Yeah, it's wild, right?
Yeah.
As far as basketball, it wasn't the spotlight yet. It was more like a kind of a quiet outlet for Ben, something that he returned to after long days. At first, he felt slighted being the youngest of his brothers. He said when it came to hoops in his younger days, quote, "With me being the youngest, they looked at me like I was the weak link, like I was supposed to chase rebounds or something." Then came high school. Playing at Central High in Hayneville, Alabama, Ben Wallace did not walk in as a prodigy. He wasn't the kid with headlines or hype. Instead, he was the one grinding in the background, diving for loose balls, embracing contact, all the stuff you guys mentioned earlier, doing the things that don't always show up in the box scores, but they echo in winning. Now, there's something telling about a teenager who leans into the hard parts of the game. Rebounding like every miss owed him something. Defending like every possession was personal. You guys want to hear what Ben Wallace thought when he began excelling in basketball?
Yeah.
He said, quote, "When I became king on the court against my brothers, they stopped playing with me." They took the ball and went home, right?
Yeah.
When I started to learn the game, play the game, and appreciate the game, I knew I had a chance to be good at it. Do you guys know which NBA player was Ben's mentor in high school? This is well documented. He had a former NBA player that was his mentor.
Oh, it was a former NBA player. Okay.
Yeah. I'll give you a hint. He played for the Knicks. Similar height, similar build.
I'm going to go.
He's only 6'7".
Okay.
Or
Or 6'8".
I'm going to go Oakley.
Oakley's
right.
to... Oh, maybe. Yeah, I'll say Oakley. Why not?
Smart man. Good job.
Yep.
Yes, it was Charles Oakley.
I could see the comparison there. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, do you guys want to hear what happened when Charles Oakley challenged Ben Wallace to a game of one-on-one at his basketball camp?
I'm assuming that Ben won and Charles wanted to fight him.
Well, there was a physical altercation, sort of. So I'll tell you. So a spirited one-on-one battle at camp earned Charles Oakley's respect, and Oakley became a long-term mentor for then, he was only 15, Ben Wallace.
Mm-hmm.
He did not back down in the matchup against the former Knicks great, and he even had his lips split open by Oakley. Yeah. The most impressive thing was how he even got to attend the camp. Get this, like growing up in the South, working on a plantation, didn't have a lot of money.
No.
So what he did was he would cut hair for $3 a person just to raise $50 so that he could attend the camp on July 4th weekend.
Crazy Ben Wallace cutting hair, because if you've seen his hair.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, cutting someone's hair for $3, you can't do that now.
No. Yeah.
That's
Something
like
about inflation.
$30. Yeah, $30 haircut now.
Yeah. Let's go to you, Maurice. What stands out to you about Ben Wallace growing up in Alabama?
He really wanted it. He really wanted to play basketball by any means necessary. That's humbling feeling, being on a plantation in the, 70s, 80s?
Yeah.
I'm talking about the 80s era?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's wild. Yeah, so I didn't even know that story. So this is new to me. But when you have a specific archetype and you're being trained by someone of that same ilk, of that same type of archetype as him, like Charles Oakley, there's nothing surprising about him being what he became in the NBA. He's like a better version of Charles Oakley, if you could say that.
That's a good point.
I think if he was in today's like society growing up at that time, they would have pushed him towards football, and he would have been like a defensive edge or something, probably one of the best. But look, the guy loved basketball, and he figured out a way to do it. That's what I like about some of these guys. Like, some of these guys were not naturally gifted, but then they figured out a way to play regardless. There's another player we did recently that didn't have like the natural skills, but ended up coming. Was that Rodman? Yeah, that was Rodman. Yeah, Rodman wasn't like a natural basketball player at first.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I think the whole idea of growing up among so many brothers reminds me of, we just did an episode on Drew Holiday, and he had multiple siblings and a sister that played basketball. And those siblings, especially if they're older, in more ways than one, they motivate you to get better. And as I said earlier, once he figured it out, they took the ball and went home. We don't want to play with you anymore. You're too good.
Yeah. There's nothing better training as a young kid growing up than just beating your older brothers.
Yeah.
Then you go from there.
Yeah, absolutely. His college journey did not begin with packed arenas or any national attention. It actually began with detours, doubt, and a whole lot of proving people wrong. He first landed at Cuyahoga Community College, and if that sounds like a step off the main road, it's because it was. Adjusting to a new environment far from home, he started carving out an identity the only way he knew how, through effort. Still, even as he improved, the spotlight stayed somewhere else, transferring to, does anybody know where he transferred to?
he went to VCU, right?
Close.
VMI.
Close.
I know it's one of those Virginia colleges that have.
Right.
Which one is it? It's not VMI. It's not VCU. It's V. What?
It's
just tell me.
Virginia Union
Virginia
University.
Okay.
Yeah, no. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So he transferred to Virginia Union University, which is Division II. Ben Wallace found himself even further from the mainstream basketball conversation. You guys want to hear what Oakley said about his former college coach about Ben Wallace?
Yeah.
So Charles Oakley, remember, he's still mentoring Ben, right? Oakley's coach had told him that he was looking for a big man, to which Charles Oakley said about Ben Wallace, he ain't that big, but he's a man. 6'7", 6'8", yeah. So no bright lights, no ESPN buzz, just small gyms, long bus rides, and a quiet hum of opportunity waiting to be seized. And that's where something clicked. Playing for legendary coach Dave Dobbins, Ben Wallace was not asked to be something that he wasn't. He wasn't molded into a scorer or forced into a system that didn't fit. Instead, he was unleashed, defending with purpose and rebounding like every possession had consequences. With no expectations weighing him down, Ben Wallace played like someone with nothing to lose, but everything to prove. In his first season, 1994-95, Ben Wallace helped the Panthers win the CIAA Conference Tournament and reached the Sweet 16 of the NCAA Division II Tournament. He was named CIAA Tournament MVP, and he led the team to a dominant season. In his 2 years at VU, Ben Wallace averaged 13.4 points. Over-under rebounds in college, over-under 9.5. Lucas?
I feel like this is a trick question, and I'm going to say under.
All right, Maurice?
Really? Under? Gotta be over.
You would think so, but something tells me that this is a trick question.
Man, you are overthinking.
You didn't even let Maurice answer, but okay.
He did. He said over. He said over. Yeah.
Well, I'm sick, so give me a pass.
I'm not giving you none. I'll give you this.
I can't wait for you to get beeped.
Oh yeah. No, it's funny. It's like Lucas always thinks I'm out to get him. So like I'm always trying to trick you guys, but sometimes I just read it from the script. So
okay. All
right, Lucas, redeem yourself. What about blocks per game?
Wait a minute, what was the rebound?
Oh, it was 10 rebounds. My bad.
Okay.
Yeah, 10 rebounds. So Lucas, over under 3 blocks per game.
I'll say over.
All right.
College, I'm going to say he was fully developed at that point. So he's probably like 6'7", 6'8", pretty much his NBA body.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go over as well.
All right, you guys are correct. It was 3.6.
Okay.
Wow, almost 4.
That's
Wow.
pretty darn good.
Yeah.
So Ben Wallace anchored a team that posted a 28-3 record his senior year, and they reached the Division II Final Four. Yet even then, the recognition lagged behind reality. Division II dominance doesn't always translate to national headlines. Scouts were not lining up. The NBA felt distant, almost like a rumor more than a destination. Ben Wallace did not hear his name called in the 96 draft, and that was enough motivation to prove every team that passed on him that they made a mistake. Trivia. What did Ben Wallace do for extra motivation to make it to the NBA despite not getting drafted? A, he called every team's GM and left a voicemail. B, he recited drafted players' names while bench pressing. Like all the players that drafted before him, he would like say their names while bench pressing.
Jeez.
Or did he work out 6 times a day for 3 months?
I'm going to say 6 times a day for 3 months.
Yeah. Okay, I'll be different. It sounds like the working out while saying their names sounds like a training montage from a Rocky movie, doesn't it?
Cue the Rocky music.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with that one. Because I know for sure Draymond knows every player that was drafted in front of him.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, your Rocky reference is quite unique, and because of that, and you got the answer right. That's true.
There you go.
Yeah.
Can't go against Rocky.
It's like when Rocky got to the top of the mountain, he's like, Drago!
I think that was a lot. I didn't see the 5th one. Never watched the 5th one.
Yeah. That's like, imagine bench pressing, and he's like, Allen Iverson, Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, right.
Ray Allen. He's just doing bench press. Hey, it worked. It worked. That
Sure did.
Motivation. Maurice, what stands out to you about Ben Wallace at VU?
Listen, that motivation pushed him to become, in my opinion, the best undrafted NBA player ever.
Clearly, yeah.
He was actually like the first like real named undrafted player in NBA history, if you think about it. I don't think there might be other ones, but he's the first famous one, I would say.
Also to go into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
I think he's the only one undrafted,
Yeah. And there's been some good undrafted guys. TJ McConnell, former Sixer. There's my Ben plug. Shout out Ben. I think, honestly, the almost 4 blocks per game, like in today's society with the media that we have, scouts, well, first off, he would be in D1, but getting real recognition. But like also like the scouts would have found him today.
Yeah.
I'll just never forget Ben Wallace bench pressing and saying names. And now because of Maurice, when I see Ben Wallace, I'm going to be humming Rocky music in my head.
Eye of the Tiger.
Eye of the Tiger, yeah.
It's the Eye of the Tiger.
All right, let's go to the other side of the comparison because now we're going to talk about Nate Thurmond. All right, now it's time to talk about Nate the Great, a.k.a. chairman of the boards. Before he got those nicknames, he was born Nathaniel Thurmond on July 24th, 1941. Whew, we usually don't go for that far back. 41. Yeah. His father worked at a Firestone plant, and his mom worked at a beauty salon. Growing up in Akron, Ohio, long before the bright lights of the NBA ever found him, Nate Thurmond was already learning how to take up space. Physically, yes, but more importantly, emotionally. Anybody know what 2 NBA stars are also from Akron?
Of course, LeBron.
And?
Bronny, clearly. No, I'm joking.
Shout out LeBron for throwing an alley-oop to his son last night.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Lucas, you got to know this, Lucas. Who else is from Akron besides LeBron?
Give me a hint.
We've covered him.
That doesn't help.
We did cover him.
His dad played in the NBA.
It's not Maravich, is it?
You guys should be ashamed of yourselves. I'm just going to do this right now.
I don't know. Pistol Pete?
Greatest shooter of all time.
Steph Curry.
Yeah.
Steph Curry.
Steph Curry's from Akron?
Yeah, he is.
Yes,
Wait a
he
minute.
is.
I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, because Dell
Yeah.
played there for
The Cavs, he played there for a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, he's right. So if you think about it, is Akron, Ohio the secret, like, unlocked gem of the NBA producing talent? Because they got 3 Hall of Famers.
Yeah. Like, what's in the water? What's in the water there?
What's in the water? Yeah. Yeah. Look, and hang on, just to, get a little bit into it, like, Nate Thurmond was 6'11", 225 pounds. And you know what? I'm not saying that him and LeBron have a similar hairline, because LeBron obviously does stuff with his...
Oh, come on.
You really went there?
I mean, look, there have been conversations about Otto Porter Jr. and Wilt Chamberlain. I'm just saying.
Okay. All right.
I don't think we know who LeBron's dad is, right? So, like...
Wait a minute. Are you...
I'm not saying it's Nate.
You're saying Nate
dad.
Thurmond is LeBron's dad?
No. He's his granddad. Come on now.
Okay.
Lucas has been on Twitter way too much.
Maybe.
Yeah. Get out of the conspiracy theory.
Okay. Well, but in all seriousness, clearly Akron is a place for basketball players to grow up.
It is. Now, picture a quiet kid, guys. Tall, earlier than most, moving through his neighborhood with kind of steady presence. Akron in the 1950s was not glamorous. It was working class, built on routine and resilience. And for Nate Thurmond, that environment didn't just shape him, it sharpened him. At Central High, the game of basketball started to feel less like something he played and more like something he carried, growing into his frame, learning how to control long limbs that seemed to stretch a little farther each year. He was not flashy, but he was steady. Like Ben Wallace, rebounding, defending, and doing the work that did not always make the headlines helped to build Nate's identity in the margins, where games are quietly won. In 1959, he earned a high school All-American team. Was it first, second, or third All-American? Maurice?
I'm going to go first.
I'll go second.
You are wrong. It was third.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Well, at least I'm not alone this time.
Wait a minute. I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Did they both attend a high school called Central High?
I think so. I think they both did. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you mentioned that for Ben as well.
Yeah, but it's cool. Like a different town name, obviously. Yeah, Central High. There's a lot of Central Highs.
Yeah. Philly has one too.
Yeah, right up the street, right there.
And just to go back to my conspiracy theory for a minute, put a picture of LeBron James next to Nate Thurmond. I'm just saying, I can see the family resemblance.
Well, okay, I'll have to look at that at some point. Send it in Slack.
Yeah, I got you.
All right. So while other teenagers were chasing attention on the basketball court, Nate Thurmond was leaning into discipline. Early mornings, late practices, the rhythm of repetition. And guess what? The coaches noticed. Teammates relied on him, and opponents felt him, especially in the paint, where his presence lingered like a shadow that you couldn't shake. By the time he reached his later teen years, there was already a sense that he was different, not just because of his size, though, but because of his temperament. Calm under pressure, anchored in purpose, he carried himself like someone who understood that the journey was bigger than the moment. Lucas, besides any references to LeBron James' hairline, can you tell me what stands out about Nate Thurmond growing up in Ohio?
Just the fact that he came from the same town that produced 2 other legends, I think is pretty cool, regardless of the familiar relations or not available. We'll see.
And just like for Ben Wallace, grew up in a working class. That gives you extra motivation, a little bit more energy to just go out there and work hard at whatever craft you want. Either you want to work in a factory or you want to be a sports athlete. If you're motivated to do it, you can do it. Yeah,
blue collar towns. And look, Ben Wallace on a plantation working in the cotton fields, that's pretty crazy. And Nate Thurmond, his dad worked for Firestone, which was, I think, a rubber plant company, and obviously dealing with cars. But did you guys know that he played high school with a future Hall of Famer, Nate Thurmond? I'll be shocked if you know this. You guys want to take a stab at it?
Okay, what position? Can you at least give us that?
Ooh, let me see.
Yeah, we're talking about the 50s.
Yeah, we are. I'll just tell you who it was. It was Gus Johnson.
Yeah, I don't know who that is. Oh, wait a second. Was he on the Celtics?
I have to double check, but
I think he was on the Celtics. Yeah, the name sounds familiar. Either the Celtics or the Hawks.
Yeah. All right, so now let's go to Nate Thurmond in college. He attended, anybody know where he went to school?
Without cheating, no, I do not know.
Okay. He went
to
initials
Cincinnati.
BG.
BG, Bowling Green?
Yes, very good. You got that.
Yeah. They have a Bowling Green in Ohio.
It's Ohio, yep.
Yeah, because they have one in Texas too, I think.
Yeah. By the time he arrived at Bowling Green State University, he was not just a tall kid with potential anymore. He was a presence, learning how to become a force. And even then, nothing about his rise felt rushed. It unfolded the way his game always did, deliberately, almost patiently, like he was building something meant to last. You guys want to hear a quote from Nate about how he decided to go to Bowling Green?
Absolutely. I mean, it's in state, but yeah, sure.
In an article I read, he said, quote, "My high school coach, Joe Sigfrith, was a graduate of Bowling Green. He was always talking about Bowling Green. After he made a college visit," Nate Thurmond said, quote, "just the ambiance of this small campus and the big trees when we drove in the main entrance got me. The gym was raggedy, but the ambiance of the campus got to me. And in the back of my ear was my coach saying, 'This is a good place for you to go.'" I think he actually took a college tour to Ohio State or another big school. I think that was a little too much for him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
So stepping onto the campus in the early 60s, Thurmond entered a game that was faster, tougher, and far less forgiving than anything he'd seen before. And while some players announced themselves right away, he took a different route, feeling his way into the college level, adjusting to the speed, the physicality, and the expectations. Then Nate Thurmond became a dominant force at Bowling Green, earning 3 letters while playing under Hall of Fame coach Harold Anderson. A consensus All-American in 1963, he led the program to back-to-back NCAA tournament appearances and the MEAC championships in 62 and 63. He made All-MAC first team and was MVP for 3 straight seasons. Which record did he break at Bowling Green State? Was it points, rebounds, or blocks? Lucas?
Well, they didn't record blocks back then, so it can't be blocks. I'm going to say rebounds.
Yeah, I'm going to go rebounds as well.
All right. You guys are correct. He set major rebounding records for Bowling Green, including he had 1,295 career rebounds and 452 in a single season, highlighted by a 31 rebound performance in 1963. He was later inducted into the school's Hall of Fame in 75. 31 boards in a college game? Oh, my Lord.
That's insane.
Yet, still there was a calmness about him. No theatrics, not like a Rodman type of deal, not even like a Drummond type of deal we mentioned earlier. There was no need for attention, just production, night after night. Looking back, his college career feels less like a breakout and more like a continuation, a deepening of everything he had already begun to build back in Akron. The same discipline, the same patience, the same quiet intensity. Only now, the rest of the basketball world was starting to notice what had been forming all along. So, Lucas, what stands out to you about Nate Thurmond at Bowling Green State?
The guy is just a monster when it comes to rebounding. It's simple as that.
Yeah, 31 boards is insane.
Sound like he was a man amongst children in college. Yeah, and that would continue into the NBA because as soon as he got to the NBA, he was on a team with pretty much one of the best, if not the greatest big man of that era of all time, really. So I'm curious to know how he got to Golden State or San Francisco at the time.
Actually, I know the moment that he found out he was drafted. So he was in a cafeteria or a dining hall. A stranger came up to him or a student came up to him and told him that he had just been drafted to the San Francisco Warriors. And he thought it was a joke because the Warriors already had Wilt Chamberlain. But essentially, they drafted him and he ended up learning under Wilt for a year or two. So that's kind of how that went down.
Yeah, you got to remember, too, he pretty much played Well, his first season, he played power forward.
Yeah, that's true. All right, Lucas, I'm about to dish off a pass to you. You ready to receive the pass?
Yes, I am.
Second quarter. Statistics.
So, guys, here are the stats. We're going to start with Ben Wallace here. He was listed at 6'9", 240 pounds. 6'9" is generous, though. I think we can all agree on that one.
I don't know. I've never stood next to him, so I wouldn't know.
I've seen other guys. Look, LeBron's taller than him, and LeBron's listed at 6'6".
But did he have his afro?
That doesn't count.
Okay.
Anyway, he is currently 51 years old. He made his debut November 1st, 1996. I was like about to turn 4. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2021, played 16 years in the NBA. We know he is famous for the number 3 when he was in Detroit. He's worn other numbers. What other numbers do you guys remember?
I think I want to say number 10.
Okay.
He wore it was 3 and it was 30.
Okay, Maurice, this is for you.
You got it right? All right.
So he's worn 3 with both the Washington Bullets, Washington Wizards franchise. He wore number 4 with the Orlando Magic. He wore 3 with Detroit, and with Chicago, he wore number 4 in Cleveland. And when he returned to Detroit, did he wear his number 3 or did he wear a different number?
He's kind of, why would he change his number in Detroit?
Yeah, I mean, he wore a different number. That's why you asked the question.
Yeah, he wore a different number. He wore number 6.
Okay.
Yeah, he wore number 6. Crazy,
I
right?
guess somebody else might have had 3.
I think it was Rodney Stuckey that had it at the time.
Rodney Stuckey. Give me that number.
I'm pretty sure it was Rodney Stuckey. I could be wrong.
Do you guys like the white home jersey for the Pistons, Ben Wallace, or do you like the blue with the red stripes jersey for Ben Wallace?
That is
going home or away?
One. I don't really like white jerseys that much, but like those white jerseys were one of the better ones.
Okay, so you go on white?
Yeah.
I'll go white.
Blue and red. Blue and red.
I'll go white. To be different, I'll say white.
Classic Detroit Pistons. They wear it now, actually. You remember the bad boy era? Mm-hmm. They wore the blue and the red.
The blue and the red.
Yeah, that's true.
But I do like the white. The white is, I don't know, it's slick. It's clean to me. I like the white.
They had a red alternative during that time too, I think.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. I did not like the red.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I'll go blue or white. And I mention it, obviously, because we're an official partner with the NBA store. So in the description, hit the link, support our show, and go ahead and get yourself a Ben Wallace jersey.
Absolutely.
All right, back to you, Lucas.
Yeah, so we're going to go with the 2001-2002 season. Maybe not his most prolific in rebounding or scoring, but he did lead the league in rebounding and blocks that season, career high in blocks that season. So he averaged 7.6 points, which is actually one of the higher points per game he's ever averaged. Mm-hmm. He averaged 13 rebounds, not a career high. It's actually his 3rd highest rebounds per season. He averaged 1.4 assists, 1.7 steals, and 3.5 blocks.
Yeah.
To be 6'7" and get those number of blocks is insane.
Yeah, it is. That sounds like Nate Thurmond's college stats.
Yeah, exactly.
I know we're like many decades apart from each other, but yeah, I think this is a really good comparison just because blocks, rebounds, you can even add steals into that too. And like I mentioned in the intro, both of these guys are just physically intimidating.
Yeah. Yeah, and not just physical attributes, but instincts. And if you've played basketball, you know, defense, whether it's sliding your feet, anticipating passing lanes, but being a shot blocker, you have to know when to jump, when not to jump, and, you know, preserving fouls, all that kind of jazz. So yeah, Ben Wallace was a masterful defender.
Over under, did he average 2.5 fouls a game that season while playing 36 and a half minutes?
Over under 2.5.
Yes.
I'll go over.
You go over?
I gotta go over.
You both are 2.2. Yes. Yeah. There you go. Now I feel better about earlier. Okay. So He only averaged 2.2 fouls a game that season.
That's really good.
That's impressive.
Yeah. He shot 53.1% from the field, which is one of his highest. Actually, I believe it is. No, second highest in his career. He also, famously, he was also known for being a terrible foul shooter. He shot 42.3% from the field. Him and Shaq were Hack-a-Ben, Hack-a-Shaq. Yeah, so any thoughts?
The first Hack-a-Ben.
Yes, the first Hack-a-Ben. So anyway, what are your thoughts here on his stats for the 2001-2002 season? I will say he led the league in rebounding twice, including once defensively and then twice offensively, as well as, led the league in games played and led the league in blocks once.
And this was 01-02, right?
Yes, that was the 01-02.
This is the era of, still prime Shaq. You got Duncan, you got KG, bigs-wise.
Chris Webber,
Mutombo, you still got Alonzo Mourning.
Yeah.
Barkley was still pretty good in the mid-90s.
No, this is 2001.
Oh, 2001, my bad.
Yeah, this is 2001, no. I always do this. Triple doubles. Did he have any, guys?
I'll be surprised. I'll say no.
Yeah, I'll say no.
You both are.
What?
Yeah, more than 10 blocks.
2 triple doubles.
Okay, good for him.
2 triple doubles. So
Points,
let's go
rebounds, and blocks?
Well, we'll find out here, won't we? So career highs, scoring. Over under 20 points as a career high scoring.
That's low for a player.
That might be the lowest you ever had.
20 points. I'll go over.
You go over.
I'm going to say tie.
You say tie. Okay. Maurice, this is for you. It was 23, and it was in his second to last season with the Pistons.
Wow.
In 2010, 2011.
His later years, he put up 23 points.
Now, he did have one 22-point game in 05, 04, 05, but...
Listen, you got players that scored 23 points in one quarter.
Yeah. Oh, my mistake. Sorry, 98, 99. Okay. Not known for his scoring, but that's okay.
No.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, he had 2 career triple-doubles. Let's see. Just give me a guess. It's over 20. I'll say this. He's had a career high of over 25 rebounds. What do you guys think the highest rebounds he ever had in a game was?
Let's go 20. Let's go 28.
I'll go 29.
Okay. Maurice, you redeemed yourself.
What?
28? Okay.
28 was a
Good
career
job.
high. Yes. He also had a career high of 12 offensive rebounds and 21 defensive rebounds.
Wow.
A career high of 8 assists, 6 steals, and as you guys suspected, 10 blocks in 2 seasons. Also, only 6 turnovers, and of course, 6 fouls. So, anyway, thoughts on this? I'll give it to Uriah.
I think the triple-double stands out to me. I would not think that Ben Wallace would have any triple-doubles, especially since he was not that prolific of a scorer. I think about Ben Wallace, and he's just that guy that did all the dirty work. He was the anchor of a championship team. So it's not surprising that he had such a low scoring output per game throughout his entire career. So, yeah, I would say the triple-double and just the scoring part. Didn't expect that from him. That wasn't his game.
Yeah. Yeah, and for me, the 23 points as a career high stands out just because, even if you can just get offensive rebounds, like he had 12 offensive rebounds. I think Lucas said 12 offensive rebounds in a game. That putbacks, alley-oops, dunks, stuff like that, the garbage points, that could equal to more, if not equal or more than 23 points. But, like you mentioned before, it wasn't about offense with Ben Wallace. Any offense he gave you was extra.
Like Zumoff used to say, Maurice, turning garbage into
gold.
Yeah.
Before we move on, because this is the Legends of the Game episode, I did want to go into all-time stats for this guy.
For sure.
So total rebounds all time, he has 10,482, which is 42nd all time.
Okay.
And if we include NBA, if it's just NBA, no ABA, is 38th.
Wait, you talk about Ben Wallace?
Yeah, Ben Wallace. And then rebounds per game, he had 9.6, which is 80th all time. Offensive rebounds, he is 21st all time with 3,444.
Okay.
Defensive rebounds, he is 35th all time in defensive rebounds with 7,038. So, and then blocks, he is 17th all time with 2,139.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
I would certainly say so. And blocks per game, he is 25th with 2 per game.
You got to keep in mind, Ben Wallace started his career slow, ended his career slow. So his prime was really like Detroit, maybe the year before that in Orlando, Detroit, and a little bit of like maybe 1 year in Chicago. That's 6 years.
Yeah, look, he came into the league at 22 years old. He was 25 when he was in Orlando. And he really didn't like his first like double digit season rebounding was his first season in Detroit with 13.2 per game. And basically from there until he was traded from Chicago in 07-08, he was averaging over 10 rebounds per game every season. Yeah, I would say that Chicago was the last. He was 32 when he 33 when he was traded from Chicago. So that kind of like was the tail end. So like Detroit, basically Detroit and like the first year of Chicago, you could consider his prime. But even that first year of Chicago, you could see the drop off already happening. And like he was an older rookie, so like 22 years old. Yeah.
When I do my segment for teammates, I always ask the question, who was the most influential? I think for Ben Wallace, Larry Brown was very influential in him unlocking, his full potential as a big man in the NBA. Their system, we know Larry Brown, even here in Philly, he was always about preaching defense.
Yep.
And he really got the most out of Ben Wallace.
Yeah, I agree.
So now that we're done with Ben Wallace, we're going to wrap things up and go to Nate Thurmond now. Let's go to the other side of the coin. Nate Thurmond was 6'11", 225 pounds. He was born in 1941, as Uriah mentioned. He passed away in July 16th, 2016, only 9 days before his 75th birthday. He was 74 years old.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. He was the first round, third pick overall for the Warriors in the 1963 draft. And then he made his debut October 19th, 1963. He was inducted in 1985. He played 14 seasons. Unlike Ben Wallace, he had the same jersey every single time, 42. He played for the Warriors, both San Francisco and Golden State iterations, Chicago Bulls, and Cleveland Cavaliers. I don't even remember what the Bulls or Cavaliers jerseys looked like at the time. So let me ask you guys this. First off, do you remember? Secondly, which iteration do you guys like the best?
Well, I mean, Golden State were their throwbacks a lot.
Yeah.
Back then they had like the circle, the city.
Yeah.
You remember them?
I do.
That was San Francisco. I think that was San Francisco. It could have been Golden
It was
State.
gold and blue, right? It was all
it was gold and blue,
trim.
but I think the ones initially were the one of the state of California on the front.
Yeah, that's right. I do remember those.
So which one do we like better? The circle one with the city on there, or do we like the one with the California? I kind of like the one with the state of California on it more.
I'm more of a circle guy. Lucas.
I like the city.
I'll go with the circle.
Okay, well, look, regardless, you can check out that jersey as well as any other on our affiliate. The link will be in the bio of this episode.
Yep.
So that being said, let's get to the rest of Thurmond now. So Thurmond's best season. So I'm going to put a disclosure out here. This is not Thurmond's best season that I'm going to do. However, because stats were incomplete until 73-74, we do not have his blocks or steals. So we are going with the first season that had it, which was 73-74. Now, I will note that he was 32 years old, so he is past his prime in this point. This is actually his last year of getting any type of accolades. his best quote-unquote season was probably the 67-68 season when he averaged 20.5 points, 22 rebounds, and 4.2 assists. However, yet again, like I said before, we can't use that season because they did not record steals and blocks. The steals and blocks is essential to showing how much of a defensive impact Nate Thurmond made. So we're going to go with the 73-74 season where he averaged 13 points, 14.2 rebounds, 2.7 assists, 0.7 steals, 2.9 blocks, 2.9 fouls per game while shooting 44.4% from the field and 66.6% from the foul line. So he averaged 39.7 minutes per game in 62 games that season. So thoughts, gentlemen?
I guess I'll just go with the whole idea of him being 6'11", where Ben Wallace is undersized for his position, but yet Ben Wallace was still able to get as many blocks in his best season compared to Nate Thurmond. And Nate Thurmond is, whenever I've seen pictures of him, it's always interesting. I always saw him as a player who, I guess, his body type, just like Ben Wallace, chiseled, right? Triceps pronounced, but just strong. But then in his face and his hairline, it looked like he was like in his 50s. So a 20-year-old body.
They didn't have hymns for men back then. They just
they did.
They didn't have hymns for men. Hymns for them. Look, we have a lot. Look, I'm just saying, hymns for them. Yeah, they didn't have that. They had toupees back then, and I don't think.
No.
Do they have toupees for? Like
you won't be able to play basketball with a toupee on.
No, I'm just saying, like when he was out in public, like, do you think he did?
Back then, I mean, he could afford it, but back then he was not pulling a Jaylen Brown with the spray paint.
Don't mind Uriah. He's salty about the Celtics.
We covered Jaylen Brown. Check out that episode, but I'm mad at him right now. Destroyed my Sixers last night. Anyway.
He was only 200 and, let me see here, 225. So he's about 15 pounds less and about 4 inches taller.
He was a little more lanky. I guess he has a body type. A body type of a who would you compare it to today? Like a
bulkier,
but a little taller, an inch taller.
Nah. Bam's closer to Ben's body type.
My point is
kind of like
my point is though, Ben was shorter but stockier, a little stronger.
Yeah.
Ben Wallace was like one of the strongest, if not the strongest dude in the NBA.
Yeah.
Like, we all remember the highlight of him blocking Shaq's dunk.
Like Ben Wallace, did Nate Thurmond have any triple doubles?
Well, he had a quadruple double, so the answer is yes.
Yeah. He had a quadruple double, so he had a double double. So let's get to career stats now, career highs. So Ben Wallace's was 23. Over, under, or tied? I think we all know the answer is over, but was it over 35 points?
Over 35 points. No, I'm going to say under.
You're going to say under?
Yeah, I'm going to say under as well.
Okay, you both are.
What?
Yeah.
In the 70-71 season, he scored 43 points.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah. Fun facts.
That's impressive. Yeah, his highlights, send it to you guys. He had a little hook shot. They were, back in that era, they were doing hook shots. And that was part of his arsenal. Not the most skilled offensive player, but he could put up numbers.
So, 43 points. But let me ask you guys this. We had Ben Wallace's career high of rebounds at 28. Over, under, or tied?
That's a good one.
Gotta go over.
Yeah. I'm going to go over it, yeah.
Let me ask you this. We know his scoring high is 43 points. Is it within 5 rebounds of that 43 points?
I can't do math right now. You got me subtracting and dividing.
So that
carry
would be
the one.
38? 38 rebounds?
It could be at least 38 rebounds.
All right, I'm going to go.
Is it within under. 5 or outside of 5?
Well,
you're going to say what, Maurice?
You asked that question. I'm going to say yes, it is.
What to say yes to?
He had a career high of 42 rebounds.
Wow.
Back in the 65-66
boards.
He never reached 40 again, though he did hit 30 quite a few times.
That's more than impressive.
Yeah, it's ungodly. That's what
Because they had some good centers back then. Or they had good big men. Wes Unseld, obviously Wilt, Russell.
Yeah.
So I will also say this. He had only 3 steals as a career high. Now, the blocks here, I'm not 100% sure because they have recorded some blocks, but it was during the unofficial range. So I'll give you the unofficial and then the official high, okay? The unofficial high for blocks is 14.
In a game?
In a game. His official high for him is 12.
Still impressive.
All right,
I'm assuming that is the game because he was with Chicago where he had the quadruple double.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, that's that. And so any thoughts on these career highs, gentlemen?
Listen, a quadruple double.
Yeah.
Off the top of my head, I don't know many people that did it. I know Elijah Wan did it, correct?
Yeah. Elijah Wan, David Robinson.
David Robinson.
Yeah.
You're in that ilk. I mean, we're talking about the best bigs of all time.
Yeah.
So not many people can say they did a quadruple double.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's even possible now in the NBA. I guess statistically it's possible.
Wemby will be getting
Wemby could do it. And I think if Joel was still in his prime and had more time, he would have been able to do it.
If he was in his younger prime,
younger prime, before all the injuries.
We're talking points, assists, rebounds, and a block.
Don't forget about Alvin Robertson, who had 20 points, 11 rebounds, 10 assists, and 10 steals. So Alvin Robinson.
Steals could happen too.
Yeah, we got to do
if anybody in the steals could happen, it would be SGA.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
But I would suspect that Wilt Chamberlain had a couple quadruple doubles, but they just weren't recorded.
For sure, yeah. He might have had even a quintuple double with blocks and steals. Yeah. I will say this. He had 4 triple doubles in his career.
Mm-hmm.
So just keep that in mind. So like with Ben Wallace, we're going to go to all-time stats. So total rebounds in his career is 14,464. He's 12th all-time. Rebounds per game is 15 rebounds per game. That's 5th all-time in NBA history.
Whoa. Okay.
Yes. But blocks per game with 1.9, he unofficially, he probably had more. His NBA average is 1.9, which is 27th all-time. And that's at the tail end of his career. Just putting that into perspective. He was past his prime basically after the first season they recorded those stats. So any thoughts on those? Any thoughts on any of this before we go to the player comparison, the career averages?
No,
there's just nothing surprising. Okay. He just dominated the boards and defensively, yeah.
Okay, so here we go. This is more interesting than you would think, but let's go to it. So, who played more games, Nate Thurmond or Ben Wallace?
I'll go Ben Wallace.
Go Thurmond.
You're right. You are correct. Wallace played 1,088. Thurmond played 964.
Close.
Okay, so I think this first one should be easy. Who averaged more points per game?
Thurmond.
Thurmond averaged 15. Ben averaged 5.7.
5.7. Wow.
That's nuts.
Rebounds per game. Ben Wallace or Nate Thurmond?
Ooh, I'll go Nate Thurmond.
Yeah, Nate Thurmond, just off volume.
Yeah, it's not even close. It's 15 to 9.6. Now, I do want to note, Thurmond averaged 15 and 15 for his career.
Now,
I will say blocks is the closest, but who had more blocks per game, Wallace or Thurmond?
I'll go with Wallace on this one.
You know what? I'll go Wallace as well. And the answer is...
The answer is actually Thurmond. Now, I think they also included those unofficial stats, which probably boosted it, because on the official rankings of blocks per game, it says at 1.9, but on the website, Sports Reference, it has it at 2.1. So I think Sports Reference included those unofficial stats.
Okay.
Now, field goal percentage, who was higher, Wallace or Thurmond?
I think I'm going to go Ben Wallace.
I think you mentioned I think you kind of mentioned it earlier. One was 44, one was 50. I'm going to go Thurmond.
Okay, Maurice, you are...
Really? Is that wrong?
Yeah, Wallace career field goal percentage is 47.4. Thurman's was 42.1. All right, 3-point percentage. Well, Thurmond never had the 3-point shot. Wallace only shot 13.7% from 3. Foul shots. I think I've also kind of hinted at this. Who had the higher?
Oh, Thurmond.
Yeah, 66.7 to Wallace's 41.4 career average.
Yeah, could not get a grip on that shot.
Yeah. So, anyway, that's all that I'm going to cover here. I'll pass the ball over back to Uriah because Ben's not here, and Uriah has accolades.
Third quarter, accolades.
So I'm going with Ben Wallace, and he has quite the list of awards. We'll start with the fact that he is a Hall of Fame player. He is a 2-time rebounding champ, 4-time NBA All-Star. How many years did he lead the league in blocks? I'll go over under 2.
I know the answer.
I'm going to go over.
Okay.
It's
Lucas?
tied.
Actually, it's 1.
Oh, both of them.
Yeah.
Oh, he's right.
You're thinking about rebounding, Lucas.
Yeah.
He led the league in blocks in 2001, 2002. He did lead the league in rebounding twice. Now, we know that he's a 2004 NBA champion with the Detroit Pistons. How many all-defensive teams did Ben Wallace make? Lucas, what do you think?
I think he made about 5 or 6.
Pick one.
I'm going to say 6.
I think it's like 5. I think like one of them was like just off reputation. But
that was the Chicago one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you say 5? All right,
That's
Lucas,
right.
This is for you.
Thank
Answer
you.
is 6. 6 times all defensive team. How many all NBA teams did he make? I'll give you an over under. Over under 4 all NBA.
We'll go under.
I'll go under as well.
Bad. It was over 5 times Ben Wallace made all NBA. Now, of course, this was a time period where the center was kind of fading into, I guess, priority.
Yeah.
Shaq had retired. Dwight Howard was kind of the top dog at that position. Not to say that it's diluted and that, he shouldn't have made all NBA, but just putting that out there. And we all know this. He was a defensive player of the year 4 times. 4 times he was the best defensive player in the entire league. Undrafted. Don't forget, undrafted was Ben Wallace.
Yeah.
So what stands out to you guys about his accolades? I'll go with...
We gotta keep in mind, he was only 6'7", 6'8", doing all that. Defensive player of the year, you still had KG, you still had, a bunch of other guys who was defensively really good.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of that, I mean, we're going to get into the teammates, but he was on a team that was had a bunch of other great defensive players.
Right.
So, yeah, that's really impressive.
Yeah.
For defensive player of the year.
The system that he was in with Larry Brown really spoke to his strengths.
Yeah, even defensively itself, he wasn't like one-dimensional defensively, like Gobert is now, and he gets a bunch of those defensive player of the years, or just off shot blocking alone. No, he was a really good defensive player on the floor. He got some steals. He was a great team defensive player. Yeah, he was really all-around defensively. Pretty much, Ben Wallace gave you everything you needed, plus except for points.
Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned Rudy Gobert, who we did compare to Dikembe Mutombo for season 1. I do think that Gobert comparison being so tall compared to Ben Wallace, and not that Gobert is one-dimensional because he did lead the league in rebounds himself, but I think what you're alluding to, Maurice, is the switchability, the mobility.
Yeah.
Ben Wallace was much more mobile than
he would be thriving in today's switching system because he could switch on to anybody.
Yep.
Yeah, no, he would be a utility guy. Like, the only thing is, like, you would have to have shooters around him, which technically Detroit did. They had. I mean, look, you found the best Wallace duo in NBA history with Rasheed and, like, not to
don't give away too many teammates.
Yeah. But, like, they had the system to support his non-scoring, you know. Yeah. So, like, I will say that, like, there's that. And just to go off of the accolades in general, I mean, the guys, you played against KG, you played against Tim Duncan. Duncan, you could argue, was one of the most underrated defenders during that time. You still had Lonzo, who was, like, going away from his peak, but you still had Lonzo. You still had other defenders. Like, I'm trying to think of other great defenders during the early 2000s. There weren't that many, especially at his position.
No.
But, I mean, look, the fact is that you were able to make that work. I guess you would say Marcus Camby, Kenyon Martin. So there were some, but, like, look, he shined for basically a 5-year span, winning 4 Defensive Player of the Years, 3 in a row. Yeah.
All right. So those were the accolades for Ben Wallace. Let's switch over to the other side and talk about the accolades for Nate Thurmond. All right. So Nate Thurmond, guys, he has his own list of accolades. Not as much as Ben Wallace, but still, we'll start with the fact that he is in the Basketball Hall of Fame.
Of course.
And he is part of the NBA 75th anniversary team, which surprisingly is not part of Ben Wallace's record. Did you guys know that Ben Wallace is not a top 75 player?
I mean, I don't think, did any of those Pistons from that team made it? Maybe Chauncey?
I don't think so.
No. I mean, look,
Chauncey.
Look.
That is interesting.
I think, when you think about it, they had a lot of centers already, and Dwight Howard was left off of it, which you could argue was even more of a bigger,
That's a good point.
snub than Wallace. Not to say anything bad about Wallace, but Dwight had similar defensive accolades and had the offense to support it.
Yeah. And just so you know, there was a 50th anniversary team that came out, I think, in the 90s, and Thurmond was part of that team. But to his credit, he did score more. So the fact that he hit the 20-point per game level a few times during his career. So he was the 1963-64 all-rookie team he made. He was a 7-time All-Star. Yeah. How many all-defensive teams did Nate Thurmond make? Over, under 6.
Did they have all defensive teams back then?
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't sure. I'm going to say, I think it's over. I think it's 7.
Over? All right. I tricked you guys.
Oh.
It was 5.
Oh,
still,
okay. Okay.
That's pretty impressive. So those are the main accolades for him.
They didn't have Defensive Player of the Year at that point, though. That's why he knows.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at...
He would have won it. Well, would he have?
Well, I don't know, because
I don't know. Bill Russell
Wilt was still playing.
You had Wilt, Bill, and Kareem coming in.
Yeah.
He might have been snubbed. He might have gotten one. I think he would have gotten at least one.
Yeah.
But also, if they would have recorded, blocks and steals, that might have made a difference too.
So check this out. This is interesting. 1966-67, he was runner-up for MVP that year. Think about that. He was second in MVP voting. That tells you how good he was. And you had guys like Jerry West back then, obviously Wilt. So that
who
tells
was the
you.
winner?
Let me see.
66, 67?
Who won the NBA MVP in 1966-67?
Hang on. There's an easier way to look it up.
It's got to be Wilt.
Hang on. I can look it up without
I got it right here. It's Wilt Chamberlain.
Yeah, Wilt.
Okay.
Wilt was first.
Sixers won a championship that year.
Yeah, that's true. Wilt was first. Then it was Nate Thurmond, Bill Russell, Oscar Robertson, and Rick Barry.
Yeah.
5th. Okay.
So I do want to note something here. Thurmond was the only other player to get double-digit first ballot, submissions outside of Wilt. Wilt had 80, Thurmond had 15. Russell only had 5.
Okay.
Russell was 32 in that season as well, so he was starting to get up there too.
Yeah. So even in the early 70s, guys, even though he didn't win MVP, Nate Thurmond's name was always in the running, and he was a candidate for 5 consecutive years for MVP. All defensive team, first team twice, and all defensive second team 3 times. Now, Ben Wallace has more under his belt in terms of accolades, but you can't sleep on Nate Thurmond because he was a rebounding machine. He was a defensive presence. And when you're second runner-up to Wilt Chamberlain in the league, that tells you his impact. So,
well, question, did they even have reserves for the All-Star games back then? Because if they didn't, that might explain why he didn't get as many All-Star nods. I don't know.
Could be. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either. I would just assume that might be
None of us
case.
were alive.
Because you couldn't tell me that there were 4 centers better than him during that time.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point.
Now, maybe 2 or 3, sure, but 4, no.
So, Lucas, what stands out to you about his accolades, Nate Thurmond?
It would be nice if they had Defensive Player of the Year. I think he probably could have won it at least once. I mean, the guy averaged for 6 seasons straight, he averaged at least 17.5 rebounds.
Yeah.
Like, that's spectacular.
It is.
Yeah. And honestly, like, there were a couple seasons where he didn't even make an All-Star, like, where he was like top 10 in MVP voting and, made all defensive team both multiple times. That's just crazy to me.
It is.
Yeah.
Maurice?
One of the reasons why this podcast is so good is because we highlight the guys who don't get all the credit, all the shine.
Yeah.
In the shadows of Wilt Chamberlain and Bill Russell and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Nate Thurmond was one of the best and impactful big men of that era.
Absolutely.
And, because of that era, he doesn't have all of the accolades. When Wilt Chamberlain is putting up 100 points per game, 100 points a game and 50 rebounds and 25 blocks, it's hard to, it's hard to put credit on a guy like Nate Thurmond. But, when Nate Thurmond was playing, I could definitely foresee him being Defensive Player of the Year or even a MVP. Now, I'm about to get into a teammates. He never was on a great team. He had some great players, teammates, but he was never on a great team. So some of that probably had to do with him not getting all of the accolades that he deserves.
Hey, look, that's the perfect segue. So I'm going to pass the ball to you, Maurice. Got an inbound pass. You ready to grab it and go?
I'm boxing out my guy. I got the post. I'm ready to go.
Fourth quarter, teammates.
All right. So let's get into the teammates section. We're going to start off with Ben Wallace. As we all know, he was undrafted in 1996 out of Virginia Union. Let's get into some of his teammates. I'm going to start with his rookie season with the Washington Bullets at the time.
Wow.
1996-97.
Bullets.
There you go.
The Bullets.
Okay.
The only guy I remember from the Bullets in the 90s was that really tall Serbian guy.
George Mirasan?
Yeah, because he was in that Eminem music video.
Yes. Yeah. Manu Bol was on that team. He was on the Bullets too. He had 2 really big guys. So his rookie season with the Bullets, they went 44-38. They had a notable coach. You guys should know this.
Bullets? Oh,
yeah, they coach. They actually had 3 coaches that season, but one of them for the majority of the season was a notable head coach.
Was it Wes Unseld?
You two know him.
Jimmy Lynam.
Jimmy Lynam.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
That was the clue, right?
I see what you did there. Okay.
Jimmy Lynam.
Shout out Jimmy Lynam. We interviewed him when we were with the Sixers. Actually, Lucas was still with the Sixers. Check out that podcast if you're a Sixers
check
fan.
it out. They also had for one game, they had Bob Stack, and Bernie Bickerstaff was also the coach that year. They had 3 coaches.
Okay.
Their executive was Wes Unseld.
I knew he was part of the Bullets. Yeah.
We need to do a comp on him.
Yeah, another big man that doesn't get the credit he deserves. All right, some of his teammates his rookie season were Calbert Chaney, Harvey Grant, Juwan Howard.
Yep.
That would be a
Jaren-
good combination.
Yeah. Jaren Jackson. Tim Legler.
Legs.
Of course, George Marison.
Yeah.
Tracy Murray.
All right.
Chris Webber.
Wow.
Lorenzo Williams. Chris Whitney. And Rod Strickland. That was actually a really good team.
Yeah, that was a playoff team. I remember they went up. I think they went against the Bulls, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, they were. They were swept by the Bulls in the first round.
Yeah, Weber. Yeah, I just remember Weber and Juwan being on the same team. That was fun.
Yeah, that was fun. Fun. They just went up against a Chicago Bulls Michael Jordan team.
Yeah.
It couldn't do anything. He did play for a couple teams, but I do want to highlight a couple of them before we went to the Detroit Pistons. The 99-2000 Orlando Magic.
Mm.
Who were their coach that year?
Tell me it wasn't Doc Rivers.
It was
No.
Doc Rivers.
Oh,
It was? Really? Okay.
Yeah, it was Doc Rivers.
Oh, my goodness.
You can't escape them.
So he's played with two Sixers coaches so far. They won 41-41.
Mm-hmm.
Did they go to the playoffs? They did not go to the playoffs. Some of his teammates were Darryl Armstrong, Chucky Atkins,
Yeah.
Earl Boykins.
I remember Chucky Atkins. And wait, so you have two super small point guards on that team?
Yeah, Boykins was like 5'7", 5'8".
I
Boykins was
remember
5'5".
And Chucky Atkins was like 5'10", 5'9".
He had him at 5'11".
Okay.
Still under 6 foot.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah.
You can't get
Michael
away with
Dol-
small point guards now.
No, you can't unless you're like Van Vliet and play good defense.
Even he's not considered small.
Right.
All right, yeah. Michael Doliak.
Yay, Michael Doliak reference. Shock hated him in practice.
He said he was a hack. That's what he said.
No, he said he hated playing against him because he always shot threes and he couldn't guard it in practice.
Well, that was his weakness. That was Shaq's weakness.
Yeah.
Pat Garrity.
Yep.
Garrity, yep.
Chris Gatling.
Okay.
Corey Maggette.
Corey
Wow.
Maggette.
I didn't know he played for Orlando.
Yeah. Rookie.
There we go.
Yeah, Ron Mercer. Bo Outlaw. And Monty Williams.
Okay. I do remember Monte being on that team.
Yeah, this is like the Magic right before they got McGrady and T-Mac.
Wow.
Okay.
I was just going to say, imagine if they kept Ben Wallace and they had T-Mac and Grant Hill.
That would have been a nice team.
That would have been
and somehow got Duncan too.
Yeah.
That would have been like a big four almost.
And Wallace would have been happy averaging 4 points per game.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. You got T-Mac and Duncan scoring 20 plus. Yeah. All right. I'm going to highlight the 03-04 Detroit Pistons. Obviously, that was a championship team. Coached by Larry Brown. The executive was Joe Dumars. How many wins did they have that year?
Goodness. I don't know, 58, 59?
I think it was 61.
It was actually 54.
Wow.
That was actually kind of low.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in the playoffs, they beat the Bucks, they beat the Nets, and they beat the Pacers. All three of those teams in the early 2000s were actually pretty good.
Okay.
The Pacers were good. The Nets were good. They were coming off a finals run. And the Bucks, I think they still had Allen and Big Dog. And they beat the Lakers, Shaq and Kobe Lakers, in the finals 4-1.
That was a great win for them.
That broke up that dynamic duo. I mean,
Yeah, that was the end of that dynasty, yeah.
Yep.
All right, some of his teammates, a lot of notable names here. Once again, Chucky Atkins, Chauncey Billups, Eldon Campbell, Darvin Ham,
Duncan Darvin.
Hubert Davis, Richard Hamilton,
Okay.
Rip.
Lindsey Hunter,
Yep.
Darko Milicic. Just imagine if they had Carmelo.
Well, we did that on our What If episode.
What If? Yeah.
That was
we did that
Man.
because they could have probably beaten LeBron in 07.
Yeah. That would have prolonged their dynasty. Their run.
They probably beat the Spurs. What was it, in 05 with Carmelo?
The next season, yeah.
Yeah. They probably. Who did they lose to in 06? I guess Miami.
It was Miami. Yes, it was.
Yeah, I don't know if they beat Miami with Carmelo. That's a tough.
Mehmet Okur.
Yeah, Mehmet.
Tayshaun Prince.
Yep.
Bob Sura.
Mm-hmm.
Corliss Williamson. And Rasheed Wallace.
Okay.
This team had pretty much everything. They had defense and he had offense.
They had it all.
They had it all.
If they would have been able to keep Okur and pair him with Wallace, they could have extended that dynasty because Okur went to Utah and was the starting center there and got like 1 or 2 All-Stars while he was there. Yeah, he was a stretch big. He was like the first stretch big that I saw in the NBA, actually. I'm sure there were ones before him, but that's who I saw when I saw stretch big.
Okay. All right. So I ask this question every time. Who won the most games with Ben Wallace as a teammate? I've said his name.
It's got to be a Pistons player. Has to be. I'm going to go with Rip Hamilton.
No, I'm going to go with Tayshaun Prince. He was never injured. Wait a second. Yeah, it is Tayshaun because they were both on the Pistons for that end of the his career. It's Tayshaun. I feel pretty confident in that.
All right. You really were confident, and you know what?
Oh, good logic,
right.
Sir. Good
it's
logic.
It's Tayshaun Prince.
NBA 2K after all these years, man, I'll tell you.
He played the most seasons with Ben Wallace, 7 seasons. And, yeah, he did play with Ben Wallace at the end of his career as well when he went back to Detroit. Yeah. They won 296 games together.
Wow.
Nice.
But actually, you know what? And number 2 was Rip Hamilton. Number 2 was Rip Hamilton with 283. So it was only 13 wins off.
Okay.
And third was Chauncey Billups with 256.
Yeah, that's not surprising. They traded Chauncey, I think, the year after Wallace left.
Yeah.
And Chauncey Billups and Ben Wallace had a winning percentage of 67.1.
That's crazy.
67. Okay.
67.
All right, let's move on. And I do want to highlight real quick a couple other teams. Chicago Bulls. Ben Wallace got paid by the Bulls.
Yeah, he did. That's why he left.
Yeah, that's why he left. He got paid.
Yeah.
And this is probably like the last great season of Ben Wallace.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? Yeah, it was the 06-07 Chicago Bulls. Yeah. They won 49, lost 33. Their coach was Scott Skiles. The executive was John Paxson.
Yeah, that
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Funny enough, they lost in the second round to the Pistons.
Yeah, that's not shocking.
Yeah,
they had an interesting team on that Bulls team.
I'm gonna get into it.
Oh yeah.
Malik Allen.
Okay.
PJ Brown.
Went to high school with Malik Allen.
PJ Brown.
You did? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, did not know that. Okay.
Malik Allen when it came out of Villanova. PJ Brown.
Mm-hmm.
Luol Deng, Ludus's guy.
Dang.
I'm just saying him and OG Anunoby is the perfect comp. Get at me.
Okay. I like it.
All right. Big Gordon.
Ben Gordon.
He had like a good couple years.
He had a good 3-year stretch.
He was the 6th man of the year, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
Kirk Heinrich.
Hey, Captain Kirk. There we go.
Andres Nocioni.
Andres Nocioni, yes.
Thabo Cephalosha.
I think it's pronounced Thabo Cephalosha.
Thabo?
Yeah,
Thabo. Shout out Thabo. Tyrus Thomas.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Really didn't turn out to be much.
He got drafted that year because that's right. They traded him. They drafted LaMarcus Aldridge, but they traded him to Portland for Tyrus Thomas.
Yeah.
Gosh, imagine how that would have changed things in Chicago.
Aldridge had a good career. So I mean, this team wasn't like super like talented, but they won 49 games.
Mm-hmm.
Well, shout out to the Bulls that season, and we're going to end with the 08-09 Cleveland Cavaliers.
There you go.
Like I mentioned, he ended his career with the Pistons again, but I want to highlight the Cavaliers team, one, because He played with some good players, and this was the most wins he's had on a team. How many wins did that Cleveland Cavaliers team have?
I think it was like 55.
I'll say 62.
Way under both of you guys. That Cleveland team was not they had some good players, but they won 66 games.
Wow.
Okay.
They won 66 and 16.
LeBron was cooking.
But you know what? This was the year before he left.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
They had, oh gosh, I'm remembering everybody on that team. They were stacked, yeah.
Do you remember the coach?
It was still Mike Brown at the time.
Mike
Brown was the head coach.
And the executive was Danny Ferry.
Yep.
They lost. The crazy thing is, this Cleveland team won 66 games. They lost in the Eastern Conference Finals to Orlando. This is Orlando's year.
Yep.
Right.
Some of their teammates were Daniel Gibson.
Booty
Gibson.
Did you say booty?
That's what well, hold up. It's not
booty. It's booby.
That's even worse.
No, it's not.
Booby is a...
Put it in a poll on social media. Which is worse?
Booty.
Hold up. Let's Google this. I'm going to Google this because I'm standing
What is there to Google? We're telling you it was B-O-O-B.
What was Daniel Gibson's nickname?
He does not trust us.
Booby.
No, I don't trust you guys. I think you got to hold it. It is Booby, okay. I thought it was
all
Booty
these
Gibson.
years you thought it was Booty?
Booby's not any better. It's actually worse.
Booby is a lot better than Booty.
Hey, did you guys see Booty Gibson put up 20 last night?
Man, he was a fire hose, man, when it came from downtown.
Man, that was fun.
Look.
His booty was a fire hose.
I do want to note that I was in middle school when I first started following this, so I probably misheard it. And I never felt the need to fact check myself on that.
Booty.
Oh, man, that was fun.
I'm glad you guys enjoyed it.
Classic Lucas.
Classic me.
All right, let's move on. J.J. Hickson.
JJ?
All right, here's this is Lucas' guy right here. Zydrunas Ilgauskas.
Yeah.
What was his nickname?
Big Z.
All right. Can't mess that one up.
My dad hated him though. He was like, he looks like a big old baby, and he complains all the time. I'm like, Dad,
he did have a baby face.
Yeah. Well, he was bald. It was not his. It's not. He didn't want to grow a beard. Leave the man alone.
All right. Joe Smith.
Okay. Yep.
Wally Zerbiak.
Wally. Yep.
Anderson Varejao.
Yep.
Delonte West.
We did do an episode on St. John's, that team with Delonte, with Uri. Help me out here.
You mean St. Joe's?
St. Joe's, yeah. St. Joe's. We did a interview.
Jameer Nelson?
No, not the
Aaron Bracey. Bracey.
Yeah. We talked about Delonte and other members of that St. Joe's team.
Okay. Mo Williams and, of course, LeBron James.
Okay.
You know, Mo Williams was the only player during his first stint with Cleveland to ever get an All-Star with LeBron.
I did not know that. He had
former All-Stars play with him.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Was Antoine on that team, or was he on the next year's team?
Antoine Jameson?
Yeah.
No, the next year.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a team. Talent-wise, they didn't have a lot. LeBron carried that team.
Their second leading scorer was Mo with like 18 points per game.
Yeah,
but 66 wins? Wow.
Well, they were a defensive team back then. You know, back then Mike Brown was known for his defensive philosophies because, Spurs branch and all that.
Yeah, and, the Eastern Conference was kind of weak by then anyway.
I mean, you had Boston. Granted, they were without KG, and you had Detroit wasn't really good then. It was really
Boston
just,
and that's it.
Chicago,
Boston and Orlando.
Nice.
Chicago wasn't good at that point yet.
And Atlanta.
Okay.
Atlanta was probably the fourth or fifth best team in the conference. Yeah.
Which teammate stands out the most in Bill Wild's career?
I'm gonna go with Chauncey Billups. I know he's got some issues right now. He's dealing with, but strictly as a basketball player, I think being the point guard and coming to the Pistons with experience and we did cover him. We did a comparison of him and Jalen Brunson. We know that collegiately he was a monster, and it took a while for Chauncey to really flourish. Once he found the right team with the right coach, Larry Brown, I'd say having a point guard like that can only make your life easier for someone like Ben Wallace.
That's fair. But I'm actually going to go with Rasheed Wallace. We've done a comp on him because we did him and Karl Anthony Towns. Check out that episode. Because before, Chauncey was already there. They had Ben, they had Tayshaun, they had Rip, but they weren't a true contender until Rasheed got there. And once Rasheed got there, they were a contender for the next 4 years until Wallace left.
So good point.
I think it's Rasheed, because basically what Rasheed did was they were the real first 4 and out team in the East in that decade. Everybody says, Orlando didn't know. It was the Pistons. Just obviously it was a little more clunky because they didn't force Rasheed to hike up a ton of threes.
And didn't Rasheed Wallace make an immediate impact, Lucas? He was immediately traded and then they won the championship, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So I think it's Wallace, because Wallace unlocked the offense to where it wasn't so clunky anymore, because it didn't matter if Ben was clogging up the paint or not, because Rasheed could shoot threes. Everybody on that team could shoot threes. I think Tayshaun was the worst one, and he was still like an average 3-point shooter. So, and Rasheed was a really good defender on top of that. Like the Wall of Wallace was not any. Oh, I like that. The Wall of Wallace.
Wall of Wallace.
Yeah, Wall of Wallace. That's a tongue tie. But no,
we mentioned
Booby is not any better.
When we did the episode of Rasheed Wallace, we mentioned he came from Portland. He was one of the first that archetype of power forwards who could shoot from the outside, but still give you something defensively in the middle.
Yeah.
That paired with Ben Wallace was a perfect tandem.
It was.
Yeah. Perfect.
Can I change my answer? I think I want to go from Chauncey. I think I'm going to go to Booty Gibson, just because
Booty.
Booty would just come in off the bench and help Ben Wallace.
To be fair, he was kind of Booty after LeBron left. So
yeah, a lot of those guys were.
Didn't he marry Keisha Cole or somebody?
I don't know, but good for him if he did.
The R&B girl. I think she did.
Was that him? I thought that was that Mario Chalmers, I think?
Nah, it was not Mario. It was definitely Booby Gibson. It was like a high profile.
Why did they call him Booby?
I don't know. Why'd you call him Booby?
It was like a childhood thing.
I was going with the kid thing. What's their excuse as grown men,
And before we end the this is our last segment on Ben Wallace. We did not mention the Malice in the Palace. And did you guys, real quick question, did you guys think that changed the perspective of Ben Wallace?
No.
Like, at all? Not at all?
No. Look, they were egging. He was having a rough night because I think he had just lost his mom or something like that.
Lost a family member?
Yeah, lost a family member. Ron should have left him alone. Steven should have left him alone. Well, actually, no, Steven was trying to leave him alone. Ron didn't.
Well,
and then the fans were the real culprits.
It was the fans. The fans started it, and they didn't have enough,
security.
Restraint. No. Restraint. They players should have restrained themselves. Like, it's just apparent. Like, it's easier said than done, but it really got out of control. I think that's a moment of NBA history that I'm sure Ben and those guys would like to forget, especially the Pacers, because of that game. They're like, players got suspended, and Reggie Miller's chance at the championship was pretty much
Reggie. I think they said that Reggie lost 2 years of his career. Like, he retired early because of that.
Yep.
Yeah.
He retired after that season. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So with that said, let's move on to Nate Thurmond. All right. So let's get to Nate Thurmond and his teammates. Nate Thurmond was drafted with the 3rd pick by the Golden State Warriors in the 1963 NBA draft out of Bowling Green. Some of his teammates were, and we're going to start with the 1963-64 San Francisco Warriors. They went 48-32. His coach was Alec Hannum. They actually got to the NBA Finals his rookie season. They lost, of course, to the Boston Celtics 4-1. Now, this is the early 60s, so they only had 2 rounds back then. So, you didn't have to go far for the finals. Some of his teammates were, of course, Wilt Chamberlain, his rookie season. Great tutor, vet to help him in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
Like I mentioned earlier, Nate Thurmond was the power forward that season. think that was the only season he was a power forward. Maybe next season. We'll see. Al Attles.
Yeah. Okay.
Who went on to be the coach later on. Guy Rogers, straight out of Temple. Shout out Guy Rogers. Not many other notable names. This is the early 60s we're talking about. Wayne Hightower. Just wanted to mention this as his rookie season. They also went to the finals that season against the Celtics. So we can move on. Matter of fact, you know what? Let's go to 64, 65 just to see. Yeah, he was still, Will Chamberlain was there the next season as well. So he was still power forward. How many different names there from the first season? So we can move on a little bit to the 72, 73 Golden State Warriors at this time. Golden State Warriors, they went 47-35. Their coach, like I mentioned, will be Al Attles. They lost in the Western Conference Finals to the Lakers. This was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar Lakers. Who else was on that team? Actually, Will Chamberlain was on that. No, Will Chamberlain was on the Lakers team. This is before Kareem got there. Will Chamberlain was on that team. Mel Counts, Gail Goodrich, Pat Riley, Jerry West. So they lost.
Wait, you're talking about the Lakers.
Yeah. I'm just saying that was the Lakers team that beat them in the Western Conference Finals.
Okay.
So I do have a small connection between Wallace and Thurmond. So Thurmond played with Rick Barry. We did an episode on him. Rick Barry played with Larry Brown in the ABA.
Oh, yes, that's true. Yeah. Good grab, Lucas.
I had the. That's what I was looking up earlier. I was just saving it for now.
Yeah, I like a deep dive.
Yeah.
A little deep dive, yeah.
So, like I mentioned, with the 72-73 Golden State Warriors, they lost to the Lakers, but here are some of Nate Thurmond's teammates. Jim Barnett, Rick Barry, Walt Hazzard, Jeff Mullins.
Right.
I don't know how you say it. Kazi Russell? That's a noble name. He's on the Bulls. He got some wild and crazy names I'm going to highlight real quick. Ron Williams and George Johnson.
I thought you were about to say Ron Burgundy.
No.
Ron Burgundy. Keep it classy, San Diego.
Well, they were a franchise back then.
They were.
Yeah.
All right. So when I ask who won the most games as a teammate, it's usually a notable name. It's not really a notable name.
Okay.
So the person is Jeff Mullins.
Okay.
He won the most games with Nate Thurmond. They played 8 seasons together. They won 307 games together.
All right.
But I will ask you guys this. How many wins did he have with Rick Barry? The over-under is 155.
Well, they only played like 3 seasons together, but they also
actually, I'll give you the hint. They played 4.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'd say over.
Yeah, over.
All right. I think that was too good of a hint.
Yeah.
You both were right.
Yeah.
160.
There's no such thing as a too good of a hint when you're talking to people who did not live during that era.
Wait a second, you weren't alive?
No, Uriah was not alive.
Look.
I'll give it to you.
Yeah. You know, I had to get one in.
Yeah.
You weren't, hold up.
Dude, I was born in 76.
Okay. Well, you came in at the tail end of his career.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you were like a baby, so it doesn't count.
All right, so how many wins did him and Wilt Chamberlain have together?
Ooh. That's probably more.
They only played 2 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, 80, 85?
I'll say 100.
61.
Ooh.
Really? That's low.
Wow.
Yeah, 49% win percentage.
That's not good.
Now, for some reason, those two didn't work on the court wins-wise.
Probably spacing.
I don't know.
Yeah, definitely spacing.
Yeah.
They didn't even have the 3-point line back then.
I mean, I'll tell you right now, his first 2 years, he shot 39.5% and 41% from the field, respectively.
All right, so I do want to highlight two more teams. Obviously, the 74-75 Chicago Bulls. They won 47, lost 35. Their coach and executive was Dick Motta. They actually went to the Western Conference Finals, and they lost to the Golden State Warriors. So basically, the Warriors won the championship 74-75 right after he left.
Wow.
So that's tough.
That's a punch in the gut.
Tough. Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough. So the Bulls team that he was on, some of his teammates, got some notable names here. Rick Adelman.
Right. Coach.
Matt Gukas.
Another coach.
Jerry Sloan.
Jerry Sloan. Okay.
Yeah. Bob Love.
Yep.
Norm
Isn't
Van
that
Leer.
Kevin's?
Kevin's
Hold up.
father. That's Kevin Love's father.
Yeah.
Norm Van Leer and Chet Walker.
Hey. Okay. Yeah, that's a good roster.
That is a good roster.
I mean, technically, if you want to make another connection, Bob Love's son was also a teammate of LeBron James.
Yeah. LeBron played with Ben Wallace. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're going to end his career with the 76-77 Cleveland Cavaliers. They won 43, lost 39. Their coach and executive was Bill Finch. So
I know that name. Was he a player?
Bill Fitch, he was like a coach for I think he was a coach for the Nets or somebody, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it was, yeah.
Thought he was a player in the 60s. My bad.
He might have been.
Okay.
Some of his teammates were Austin Carr, Jim Clemens. Here's a name for you. Campy Russell.
Camby or Campy? Oh.
Can't be Russell.
No, Campy.
Camby.
Campy. Okay.
Camby, like Marcus Camby.
Campy. Campy.
Oh, Campy.
Like it's a campy story. Oh,
yeah.
Gosh, that's weird.
Yeah,
Campy.
for sure.
Here's another name for you. Bingo Smith.
Bingo Smith. Ben would love this right now.
Hang on. Bingo Smith dribbling down the court. Oh, he crosses him up. Oh, he goes in for the layup. Bingo Smith with 2 extra points to win the game.
Bingo.
What's his name?
Isn't it Chucky Williams?
Chucky. Okay.
Dick Snyder. And here, this is a great one. Foots Walker.
Foots
Walker.
Oh, this is gold right here.
Is this a joke? Like, did the NBA is this why? Like, you know what? They had to come up with like these
Foots.
Like, is that his legal name?
Like, which team has the best?
His legal name was Clarence Walker, but they call him Foots.
Okay.
Which team has the best nicknames? It's got to be the Chicago Bulls team.
No, this is Cleveland.
Cleveland, my bad.
Yeah, this is Cleveland. This is the end. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to highlight that. There were some great names on that team. Elmore Smith. Yeah, that was a great one. But anyway, which teammate throughout the career stands out the most to Nick Thurmond?
Oof.
It's an obvious one, but like I said, they didn't win many games together. Lucas, you go first.
Go ahead, Lucas.
I don't know. That's a tough one. I'm going to say Rick Barry. I know
you son of a gun. I thought you were going to say Wilt. My goodness. All right, well, why would you pick Rick Barry?
Because he was, he complimented him more than Wilt did.
Right.
Yeah.
Inside, outside presence.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would go with it, even though they didn't win a lot of games together. You got to go with Rick Barry.
Yeah.
Who we compared, by the way, to Jerry West. Check that out.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a shame he didn't win a championship.
Yeah.
Unlike Ben Wallace, but he came close. His team came close anyway. But with that said, though, that's it for the teammates section. Let's wrap it up.
Now that we've given you all the facts on Nate Thurmond and Ben Wallace, it's time for you to make your case.
At this point, it's not about our opinion. It's about yours.
We'll see you on your favorite social media platform. Ready to check out your takes as Uriah deletes it as I'm talking. You find us on X, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Threads.
How about we try that again?
No, how about we just keep it rolling?
Okay.
For the sources of information used in this episode, you can visit our website, basketballnowandthen.com. Visit our website to sign up for a monthly newsletter and check out our comparison articles. Again, this has been a great Legends of the Game episode. 2 phenomenal big men from different eras. Next time you hear from us, we will be doing a comparison of Joe Johnson and DeMar DeRozan. On behalf of Maurice and Lucas, I'm Uriah with Basketball Now and Then. Thanks for listening.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Peace. We got to get Lucas some real tissues over there and stop
Yeah.
using toilet paper.
Hey, man, when you struggle, okay?
What's it called? Toilet paper? That's such a Philly accent. Toilet
Paper?
It's
Toilet
I thought it was
paper.
toilet.
Yes,
Toilet.
It is toilet paper, but he isn't talking.
Man, Maurice has the most Philly accent that I think I've heard in a
Lucas,
while.
put down that toilet paper.
Yeah, I do say it that way. Yeah.
Man,